Well, we've had people that infiltrate the party with the purpose of dividing the party. So we get a little suspicious. And I think that's human, that we started become careful and wanted to see, do you really share the values of the platform of the party?
And I'm totally with that, because we should share the values and we should have those debates and those conversations. And just with Christianity, we should have those conversations. But when it comes down to our social fights, coming down to pushing our school boards, when it comes down to the very elections, particularly the local elections, if we don't stand together, we're going to start falling. Because a kingdom that doesn't stand together always falls.
Always.
Always, every single time. And if we want to, as Republicans and as conservatives, if our politicians want to fight amongst themselves and bicker and argue and stuff like that and have that debate, fine, let's do that. Because it's good. We want to push more conservatism. We want to push more fiscal responsibility.
I think we need to listen to each other's ideas, too. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can disagree.
Yeah, disagree. I mean, that's okay. But then when it comes down to decision time, when it comes down to vote time,
unite.
We need to unite. And I see very, very little of it. And I've seen very little of it in the past 10 years of politics. We're seeing a lot more of it now with Trump, because Trump is really swinging. I mean, he's a bull in a china shop. He's swinging for the fences with everything he does. He's brought together a tremendous cabinet. I have never seen a cabinet this well-rounded and this powerful.
Tell me God's not involved in that.
Ever. And that's pulling a lot of people. I see the normal rhino Republicans that we've had in Congress. All of a sudden, they're all voting.
You're name calling now.
All voting his direction, right?
Yeah.
They did vote in unison, except for the three senators and Mitch McConnell, who was, I don't know what he was thinking. He's out on left field somewhere. And then our lovely state senator in Maine, our lovely senator up in Alaska, that keep voting against us. But for the most part, they all voted in unison and got his cabinet in there, and that shows some unison. But back to all this as a whole, I think before his election, we were all kind of standoffish and afraid to talk about things. And all of a sudden, when we see the election results, and he was a majority winner of the popular vote, not just of the Electoral College, all of a sudden everybody's not afraid to talk about it anymore. Nobody's afraid to talk about it, and it's becoming more accepted, I guess, in society. You don't have to be so politically correct. As we've seen in the last few months, wokeness is going down.
Yeah.
All this is going down.
Even noticing it like on shows on TV. God showing up and prayer showing up on an episode of a sitcom. People aren't afraid anymore.
And so in this podcast, we're going to be having discussions like this where we want to bring those morals and values back into society. Now, we're going to be discussing a lot of different topics over the next months. Next week, we're going to be bringing on and discussing specifically the differences between Israel, the government, and Judaism, the religion. And we'll have some guest speakers that are coming in that are Israeli and Jewish at the same time. And we'll be discussing current events, what's going on, what happened in the massacre over there with Hamas, and what their struggles are currently between Israel and Hamas, and whether they feel that those are justified and that every action is justified, because not every action is always justified. But we understand the different positions, and we're going to be discussing that. And weeks coming up, we're going to have a lot of guests coming in. So we hope you guys stay tuned. This is going to be, again, God and Country.